Picture this. You're sitting alone on the edge of your bed. The room is completely dark, except for the blue glow of your phone lighting up your face. It's past midnight, but sleep isn't even an option. Your thumb keeps refreshing her story again and again. There she is, laughing in a bar, music loud, lights flashing. She's tagged with some guy who barely ever texts her back. Meanwhile, your last message sits there, delivered, unread, unanswered. Then her words replay in your head, like a bruise you keep pressing. You're such a great guy. I just don't feel that spark. That sentence hurts more than rejection ever should. Because you didn't mess this up. You listened. You remembered the small details. You showed up when it mattered. You did everything people say a man is supposed to do. And yet here you are, alone, watching kindness get ignored while the guy who plays games gets the girl. So you start asking the question that eats away at you late at night. Why does this keep happening? Why do so many good men end up on the sidelines, while the unpredictable ones take center stage? Tonight, we're not going to settle for easy answers. We're going deeper, because the truth is uncomfortable, but freeing. Science tells us something we don't like to admit. We're not as modern as we think. For thousands of years, survival depended on choosing partners who stood out. The ones who took risks, the ones who bent rules, the ones who felt unpredictable. That ancient wiring didn't disappear just because we got smartphones and dating apps. It's still there, quietly influencing attraction. But here's the part people get wrong. It's not that women want pain. It's not that cruelty is attractive. It's that uncertainty creates a chemical thrill. The brain doesn't spike dopamine when it gets the reward. It spikes when the reward might happen. That maybe is powerful. One woman once told me, when he finally replies, it feels like winning a prize. I know it's not healthy, but it's addictive. On the other side of the story, there's always a man like Ethan, steady, present, kind, watching women chase men who barely notice them. It's like I'm invisible, he said, and that sentence carries a quiet kind of pain. But here's the thing. This pattern doesn't trap everyone. Some people wake up early. Sophia did. She realized she wasn't chasing love. She was chasing anxiety. She stopped looking for chaos and started looking for calm. And that shift changed everything. Psychology has a name for what traps so many people in these loops. It's called intermittent reinforcement. The same mechanism casinos use to keep gamblers pulling the lever. Attention given, then taken away. Warmth, then distance. The brain doesn't fall in love. It gets hooked. That's not romance. That's chemistry on a leash. You can feel it when you're inside the loop. You become anxious when they disappear, euphoric when they return. You excuse behavior you'd never tolerate from anyone else. Slowly, quietly, you start doubting your own worth. Sarah lived this cycle. She met a guy online who would text her all night, then vanish for days. When he came back, she didn't feel anger. She felt relief, and that scared her more than anything. What most people don't realize is that secure people, often shaped by healthy families, self-work, or therapy, don't stay trapped here for long. If you're a good man who feels overlooked, it's not because you're lacking. It's because many people you meet are still wired to confuse intensity with connection. And society doesn't help. Movies glorify the rebel. Music romanticizes emotional chaos. Dating apps reward boldness, drama, and the illusion of endless options. Even advice like, "Don't settle, find someone who excites you," pushes people straight toward anxiety without realizing it. Some women figure this out the hard way. One wrote in saying she used to think anxiety was passion, until therapy helped her separate the two. Another met a calm, honest man who never played games. At first, she thought it was boring. Then she realized something shocking. For the first time in her life, she felt safe. And that safety became the deepest form of excitement she'd ever known. We're all getting mixed messages. Men are told to be sensitive, but dominant. Women are told to be independent, but swept off their feet. Everyone's performing, and no one feels secure. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The man who uses cruelty to gain attention usually pays a price later. Women caught in emotional roller coasters often walk away with anxiety, self-doubt, and scars that take years to heal. Men who rely on chaos often end up unable to build anything real. And the good men? They risk becoming resentful, invisible, or tempted to turn into someone they're not. Lisa spent years chasing men who kept her guessing. By the time she saw the pattern, she didn't trust anyone, not even herself. But this isn't a hopeless story. Ryan was always labeled the nice guy. He stopped chasing validation and started building a life he respected. Over time, he met someone who saw his value clearly. It took longer, he said, but it was real. So what do you do if this story feels personal? You can't change biology, you can't rewrite society overnight, but you can change how you show up. You build a life that excites you, not to impress, but to feel grounded. You set boundaries and walk away from games without apologizing. You let pain teach you instead of hardening you. You look for depth, not drama. And most importantly, you stop measuring your worth by who chooses you, and start measuring it by who you choose to become. Here's my challenge to you. Pause this video. Think of one pattern you're ready to break. One way you'll show up differently, starting tomorrow. Drop it in the comments. Let's build something better together. Not every woman is drawn to chaos. Not every good man is invisible. If you've felt this pain, you're not broken. And you're not alone. The world rewards drama, but you don't have to. Stand tall, value yourself, choose real connection. That's the only battle worth fighting.